Tonight, Chesapeake suffers a major drop in stock.
And a 3-week-long search for one local Shawnee resident comes to an end. This is News 30. Welcome to this week's edition of News 30. I'm Emma Patton.
And I'm Alyssa Sparazza.
The Justice Department is suing the city of Ferguson, Missouri over police conduct. The lawsuit was announced Wednesday by Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Lynch stated that the lawsuit would address a violation of the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments by city police officers. The lawsuit came after the Ferguson City Council voted to reject a proposal to initiate city court and police reform. Ferguson has been in the spotlight before. In August of 2014, police officer Darren Wilson shot and killed an unarmed African American named Michael Brown. The Justice Department ruled that Wilson would not be charged with a crime. The Department of Justice began negotiating for Ferguson for reforms. Lynch, along with the rest of the Department of Justice, hopes the lawsuit will hasten reforms in Ferguson.
New Hampshire held its Republican and Democratic presidential primaries on Tuesday. Roughly a week after losing a close battle in Iowa to Ted Cruz, Donald Trump surged ahead to a big victory in New Hampshire. Pulling in 35% of the vote, Trump earned a total of 10 delegates. Ohio Governor John Kasich came in a distant second with 16% of the votes and 4 delegates.
On the Democratic side of the primaries, Senator Bernie Sanders recorded 60% of the vote. Hillary Clinton won 38% of the New Hampshire vote. The 22% margin is a wider margin of victory than the Iowa caucus, which Clinton won with just a 0.3% margin.
Next up on the campaign trail are the Nevada Democratic Caucus and the North Carolina Republican primary, both on February 12th.
Bad news for oil investors. Shares of Chesapeake Energy stocks have dropped 33% since Monday. The company is currently facing debt 8 times its market value. To combat the debt, Chesapeake has been canceling drilling projects, laying off workers, and closing down its offices. Investors have grown more concerned as the company's financial options dwindle. On Monday, Chesapeake released a statement saying that it would employ restructuring attorneys from Kirkland & Ellis to help manage its balance sheet. The company also dismissed claims of bankruptcy.
Twitter stock had dropped 4.4% since Thursday. The company named a new chief executive in October, Jack Dorsey. Dorsey and other Twitter executives plan to combat the falling stocks by making changes to its platform to draw in more users. This includes a 5-point plan to simplify conversation rules and live video usage. Analysts are skeptical about these changes. However, they did find some positive Twitter earnings. Twitter's integration of videos and plans to allow Periscope videos have already brought in new users. The company hopes to rely on these changes and the platform's overall uniqueness to bring about improvements.
The online service Yahoo is forced to make hard decisions. Under the CEO, Marissa Mayer, they have made up to 15% worth of cuts in the staff. Yahoo is also separating its stake in China's Alibaba Group. CEO Mayer believes that this is a move forward to a new beginning. The layoffs take off April 11th this year.
This month is Black History Month. Reporter Micah Murphy went Quintessa Garraway to see what OBU is doing to honor Black History Month.
I talked to Quintessa Garraway about the United Students of Color and what they stand to accomplish here on OBU's campus.
Just trying to show and implement and exude God's kingdom diversity, and just kind of bridge that gap in between what a lot of us experience outside of school and then bringing that on campus, and just sharing and trying to have other people understand the cultural diversity that we have here. That'll be it.
The United Students of Color have planned several events they hope will better prepare students for a multicultural future.
We're wanting to kind of continue the discussion of how racial reconciliation should look to the Christian and how that should matter to us as not just a college campus, but as a campus of young people who one day are going to go out and have to live in a real world that doesn't necessarily look like looks like black and white, but in so many different spectrum and areas. So
USOC encourages students to reach out and talk about any difficulties they may face.
I would say if you have a concern or if there's something that just, plagues and hurts your heart, don't be afraid to share those things. And as a Christian campus, us as students have the authority and the ability to just kind of openly have discussions, and we should take opportunities for that.
In honor of Black History Month, OBU will be hosting a living museum in the Geiger Center where people can come and view art and history about African Americans in the U.S. Also this month, there will be African American poetry readings and a forum for students to discuss the impact that African Americans have had here in the United States. This is Micah Murphy reporting for News 30.
For the book lovers of Shawnee, February is National Library Month. Make sure to stop by the Shawnee Public Library to pick up your favorite book or to ask about their special programs. For more information or for a list of recommended books, visit www.pioneerlibrarysystem.org and click on the Keep Reading in February tab.
Apple recently announced that the company is developing wireless charging for their products. Several technology distributors have wireless charging, but Apple is working on a charger that can be several feet away. The main issue that the company has been trying to perfect having to do with connecting the wireless charger from long distances. Apple has been working on this technology since 2010 and plans on releasing the service in 2017. The city of Shawnee is now looking to fill an important position.
And the search has ended for a wanted Shawnee resident. Stay with us. Welcome back to News 30.
Shawnee City Commissioners met Monday expecting to discuss their agenda. However, the employment of Shawnee City Attorney Mary Ann Carnes was the main topic up for discussion. Carnes issued a statement Wednesday citing that she's accepted a job offer in Midwest City as Municipal Prosecutor Assistant City Attorney. Shawnee City Commissioners announced that their contract with Carnes will end effective February 27th, and she will be available on retainer through June 30th.
It's been almost 3 weeks since the manhunt that put OBU's campus on lockdown. The search originally began around 4:45 p.m. with a police chase after officers received a call about a stolen vehicle. The two suspects, 32-year-old Bryce Winrow and 30-year-old Logan Woodall, eventually crashed the vehicle and fled on foot. This caused a lockdown of the OBU campus after officers reported Winrow, armed, had entered campus near the baseball field. About 5 hours later, the lockdown was lifted after police determined that Winrow was no longer in the area. However, both he and Woodall's locations remained at large. Police put out a warrant for both Winrow and Woodall, and Winrow was arrested by U.S. Marshals in the early morning hours of Tuesday, February 9th.
That evening, Shawnee Police became aware of some information that we got together on, and that kind of sparked us going to Oklahoma City. We conducted surveillance, interviewed some additional folks, which in turn led us to the location where Winrow was located and taken into custody.
Police arrested Winrow on 3 accounts: possession of firearm after a felony conviction, possession of a stolen vehicle, and concealing stolen property. However, Woodall still has yet to be found. Pope said that the two are not considered accomplices, but are both linked to drug activity and stolen property. Anyone with information regarding Woodall's whereabouts are asked to contact police immediately.
Shawnee Public Schools will be voting to pass a 32 bond proposal. Morgan Smith has the story.
On April 5th, Shawnee Public School will vote on a bond project. The project aims to focus on 4 areas: safety and security, renovation, athletics, and activities. Dr. Mark Moore is the school superintendent. He claims these projects were chosen by a committee of community members that are involved with the school.
We went through an extensive process. It began actually a couple of years ago. We put together a long-range planning committee This committee consisted of community members, administration, teachers.
According to Dr. Moore, Shawnee Public Schools has a history of using bonds to make improvements to the school.
Shawnee Public Schools has had in the last 15 to 18 years, has had a lot of success in getting the community to rally around bond issues and put money toward education.
Among the improvements made will be safe rooms, an updated parking lot and sports facilities, and upgrades to classrooms.
It was built, Shawnee High School was built in 1971, and it's had an upgrade and a gym, but nothing really done to the academic side of the building. It's a great structure, meets our needs at space, but it needs some updating. So things like science labs where we can run experiments, technology upgrades. Our library cafeteria is not able to service the 1,200 kids. So
Dr. Moore hopes that these improvements will help boost students' academic achievements.
We want students' academic achievement and personal growth to increase greatly. That's why we're here. That's why we do this work.
Ashley Wollstonecroft has this week's weather when we come back.
And Shawnee Little Theater presents Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Welcome back to News 30.
Here's Ashley Wollstonecroft with this week's weather.
Thanks, Alyssa. Well, the warmer temperatures that we saw yesterday in the 70s and 80s are behind us now, but today's temperatures have still remained above the yearly average. As you can see, it has been a fairly warm day for February as temperatures peaked to a high of 59, but still nowhere near that record high of 82 back in 1962. Temperatures were also above average around the rest of the state, with a high of 64 in Ardmore, 62 in McAllister, and lower temperatures up north with highs in the lower 50s. Let's take a look at those current conditions. It is currently 53 degrees out there, clear skies with a low northeast wind. Tonight, temperatures will be a little chilly as another cold front moves across the jet stream. So if you're planning on going out tonight, you may want to bring a jacket. But temperatures are expected to warm back up this weekend with highs in the mid-50s. Looking ahead to tomorrow, temperatures should remain in those 50s with lows in the lower 30s. It's going to be a chilly morning, so you're definitely going to want to bring that coat for your morning commute. The temperature should rise to a high of 56 by noon and drop back in the 30s and 40s for the rest of your evening. As you prepare for your weekend and Valentine's Day events, temperatures should remain mild with a high of 52 Saturday and a low of 38. Winds will stay pretty calm, but you might want to bring an umbrella with you if you're planning on going out Sunday. Showers are expected to roll in that afternoon by 3 o'clock. So if you were planning on taking your sweetheart out for a picnic or outdoor event, you may want to change your plans. The week ahead looks sunny and warm with highs in the low 70s. The cloud coverage will keep Monday's temperatures cool with a high of 62. The sun will come back out Tuesday with a beautiful high of 71. So you'll definitely want to take those kids to the park and spend some time outside. Wednesday will be a little cooler with highs in the upper 60s and lows in the mid-40s. Going into next week, you'll want to stay tuned into Shawnee News 30 weather as severe storms are expected to roll in at the end of the month. The good news is that the cooler temperatures and rain should keep allergens out of the air for the next few days and should not disturb any of your plans. However, you'll want to keep an eye out for the moderate fire dangers as wind increases Monday and Tuesday. Remember that you can be featured on News 30 through sending us a tweet. Tweet us at Shawnee News 30 and use the hashtag Valentine's Day Fun to share your weekend plans. Alyssa, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. Shawnee Little Theater will be hosting the Pulitzer Prize-winning play Cat on a Hot Tin Roof by Tennessee Williams. This great Southern drama is based off a plantation in the Mississippi Delta. To get the dates and show times, go to ShawneeLittleTheater.com or call 405-275-2805.
Valentine's Day is approaching and a club on campus is ready to show some love. We spoke with Color Out Oklahoma group leaders about their organization.
Color Out Oklahoma is an organization that promotes the awareness for childhood diseases. The diseases change year by year what we raise money for. We typically will host a dance or a run or just some sort of event once a semester, raising money for whatever childhood disease we see promotable at that time.
Oklahoma actually has the third highest death rate.
And I think, especially for OBU, I think this is a good opportunity to come support something like this. I mean, we've had dances and we've had other things, but it doesn't always get the greatest support. And we want the student body to back such a great cause as heart disease and other events that we do. And we really appreciate the support and the backing of the student community in OBU.
Recently, Amazon has released a new group of gaming tools in a package called Lumberyard. In their Terms of Service update, Amazon added a clause stating that game makers should not use these tools for military purposes or manned spacecraft, except in the event of a zombie apocalypse. Should that happen, developers using Lumberyard can feel free to use the company's computer power and storage systems from its data centers to survive. While this may only be a joke, at least developers can rest easy knowing that they're covered.
Valentine's Day is quickly approaching, and Starbucks has introduced a special treat to help you celebrate. They recently released 3 new molten chocolate beverages for the holiday weekend. You may not be able to get your favorite pumpkin spice latte anymore, but these new specialty drinks may be the perfect way to celebrate Valentine's Day.
For the first time in 57 years, Mattel will be releasing a more diverse lineup of their iconic Barbie dolls. The new lineup will feature several different body types, including tall and petite. Accompanying the new, more realistic body types will be variations in skin tone and hair texture. The new dolls have garnered attention all over the world, even landing on the cover of Times magazine. Bloggers and celebrities alike have praised the dolls on Twitter with the hashtag #TheDollEvolves. The new collection can be viewed at Barbie.com and will be sold for $9.99. After the break, Jason Berger has this week's sports.
Welcome back to News 30.
Here's Jason Berger with sports.
All right, thank you, Emma. This past weekend, the Super Bowl celebrated its 50th anniversary. Along with football fans everywhere, Pizza Hut also joined in on the festivities. On the biggest pizza ordering day of the year, customers had the chance to win one of 50 pizzas topped with nearly $100 worth of edible 24-karat gold. What better way to celebrate the Super Bowl's golden anniversary? As for the big game itself, the Denver Broncos managed to pull off a 24-10 defensive rout against the 17-1 Carolina Panthers. Linebacker Von Miller took home the MVP award, and it also marked 39-year-old quarterback Peyton Manning's 200th career win. It is also the first time that a starting quarterback has won Super Bowls with 2 different teams. Keeping up with Kevin Durant on the court is easy. You see him everywhere. But what you probably didn't see was that Kevin Durant decided to attend Super Bowl 50, not as a fan, but as a photographer. We all know about his shooting skills on the court, but what about his shooting skills on the field? The Thunder starter grabbed a media pass and headed to the sidelines of Levi's Stadium to shoot pictures for the Players Tribune, a new media platform that allows players to post first-person experiences and connect with their fans. Durant commented on the experience by saying, "I've got a lot of outside interests outside of basketball, and one of them is doing things I haven't done before, like stepping into the shoes of a photographer and learning what it's all about." In college basketball, the OBU men's basketball team defeated Harding University 86-78 this last Saturday, snapping a 10-game losing streak. Harding was tied for first place in the Great American Conference before OBU pulled off the upset. Some notable players in that game include the point guard, Vladimir Nemchak, who led the Bison scoring attack with 23 points. The sophomore guard, Stephen Green, had 21 points of his own, while the forward, Chandler Rickey, had a double-double with 14 points and 12 rebounds. The Bison take on Southeastern Oklahoma State tonight and East Central University on Saturday. The Saturday game will be broadcast online on the Bison Sports Network starting at 3 p.m. In OBU baseball, as spring begins to roll around, so does baseball season. As OBU begins their season, so are 9 former Bison currently on Major League rosters. Some names you might recognize include Julian Merriweather, Taylor Hearn, and Kelvin Rivas, all of which will be reporting to spring training this coming season. Only 2 teams in the Big 12 have had more top 10 round picks than OBU since 2014. This is no surprise as head coach Bobby Cox is looking to lead the Bison to their 31st consecutive winning season under his control. The Bison will be on the road at Dallas Christian this weekend for a 3-game series. That's all I got in sports this week. Back to you, ladies.
Well, here's an unlikely hero from down under. Meet Charlie the kangaroo. Charlie currently works at the Salt Lake City, Utah William E. Christopherson Veterans Home as a therapy animal for veterans. During his time at the Veterans Home, Charlie has also visited hospice care facilities and special education classes.
Unfortunately, while Charlie is only about a year old, it will not be long before he will be fully grown and too large to continue his service at the home. However, the Utah Red Cross has plans to honor Charlie next month.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight, but you can stay informed during the week by following us on Facebook and Twitter at Shawnee News 30.
Thanks for watching News 30. We'll see you next week.